Hello, I'm Teacher Lydia, and I'm going to talk about my experiences with ESL and some of the things I've learned over this semester in my class about speech and language. The biggest impact that some of the information I read had on me and working with VIP Kid has been the understanding that as you grow, from the time you're born until you learn to speak, the muscles in your mouth are forming. And those muscles form so that you can speak whatever language you happen to be born into and happen to hear most often. So when a child comes into your school at 6 years old and maybe they only speak Spanish or Korean or whatever, it's difficult for them because the muscles in their mouth have been trained to speak either Spanish or whatever language they happen to come in with. So that's one of the reasons behind why learning English is so difficult. When a child comes into a school having only heard whatever language they were brought up with. I currently work for VIP Kid, and I've learned so much from them about taking it slow, using something called TPR, which, is just basically signaling with your hand so that the message doesn't get skewed between what you want the child to do and what they're understanding. So one of the things that I would recommend to a teacher is just making sure the classroom is accessible. I had a student a while back that was a Spanish-speaking student, and one of the things that I thought would help her was to get an English-Spanish dictionary on her iPad, so that when she heard a word, she could actually speak it into the iPad, and then the iPad would translate it into Spanish, and she would be able to understand better what was going on. So she'd speak an English word into the iPad, and then it would translate it into Spanish. The other thing is to give directions slowly. I'm from Washington State, and we speak really fast on the West Coast. You guys have probably noticed. I just do. I just talk really fast. I have a lot to say, and I want to make sure everything I say gets heard. But by slowing down, it allows the person to process what you're saying and also helps you articulate it better. So if I give an instruction to sit down and open your books to page 71 and start reading, or I could say, please sit down, open your books to page 71, and please start reading. That makes things a little bit understandable, and even making those sentences even more simple, even using a whiteboard to write the instructions down so they have both their eye gate as well as their ears to understand what's going on. The last thing that I would suggest, and this worked for me, this was really effective for me when I worked in daycare, is I had a child who spoke Swahili, and I could not get her to do anything. She just kind of sat around and looked with a grumpy look on her face. And part of that was just because she couldn't understand us. Mom and Dad spoke Swahili at home. And so what I did was I learned a few basic phrases. The biggest one was go. I think that phrase was nenda. So I'd say go nenda bathroom, or nenda to the gym, nenda outside, nenda to the coat room, and then I would point where we're going. And that helped her understand what was going on. It helped include her in the process of what was going on with also including that English language bit in order to help her learn. This was quite effective. I've done this in Romanian as well and in Spanish. And it just helps connect the dots to have a few simple phrases down that you can tell children when they're struggling in class, and just help give them some direction. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'm signing off.